Breaking. Donald Trump has issued a stark warning to Keir Starmer, triggering a major upheaval in the UK government within hours. Cabinet ministers are resigning at 3:17 a.m., and 14 MPs withdrew their support overnight. What followed sent shockwaves through Whitehall and could jeopardize Britain's special relationship with the United States. Here is what ignited this unprecedented diplomatic crisis. Just 48 hours ago, former President Trump made a private call to Downing Street. His message was direct and unequivocal. Britain must stop undermining NATO with European defense agreements. But Starmer refused to budge. The Prime Minister dismissed Trump's concerns outright, slamming down the phone rather than engaging in discussion. The exchange marked the most explosive confrontation between the US and UK since the Suez crisis. Trump's exact words were chilling. If Starmer continues down this perilous path towards a European army, America would immediately reconsider its intelligence-sharing arrangements with Britain. Multiple sources at Mar-a-Lago confirmed the president was visibly angry. The fallout was swift and severe. Within 3 hours, Trump's team issued a scathing statement, branding Britain as no longer a reliable partner in global security. Foreign Secretary David Lammy scrambled to manage the damage, appearing pale-faced on Sky News at 9:43 p.m., struggling through explanations that satisfied no one. Senior diplomatic sources indicate emergency meetings were convened across Whitehall before midnight, as the crisis escalated rapidly. Yet there is an even more startling element that has gone largely unreported. According to White House insiders, Trump had already sent 3 private warnings to Starmer, each increasingly urgent, and each entirely ignored. A former security advisor, speaking on condition of anonymity, revealed that Trump had even offered to send a special envoy to London 3 weeks ago, an offer Starmer declined. The audacity is remarkable. Meanwhile, British veterans who served alongside American troops in Iraq and Afghanistan are watching in dismay as decades of sacrifice appear to unravel. James Harrington, a 67-year-old former Royal Marine who lost his leg in Helmand Province, was visibly shaken during his BBC interview. "I bled with those Yanks. We were brothers," he said, his voice breaking as he recounted how Special Forces collaboration saved countless lives. Over 4,000 veterans have signed an urgent petition calling on Parliament to address the crisis. Yet their voices are being ignored. While Labour elites enjoy champagne receptions at Brussels hotels costing $4,800 per night, complete with 5-star accommodation, private jets, and elaborate security details that cost taxpayers $273,000 last month alone, the contrast is stark and deeply troubling. Even lifelong Labour supporters are abandoning the party, with donations dropping 47% since the previous quarter. Then something unprecedented occurred that caught everyone off guard. King Charles broke 7 decades of royal protocol with a single phone call to Trump at 6:15 a.m. this morning. Palace sources confirm the monarch spoke privately for 23 minutes. At an emergency Privy Council meeting, he delivered what insiders describe as a highly diplomatic intervention. "The special relationship between our great nations transcends any single government or administration," the king declared, with calm but unmistakable authority. Royal. Analysts suggest this was Charles sending a clear message to Starmer. Resolve this immediately or face consequences. Palace insiders indicate the king has privately expressed deep concern about the deteriorating alliance. The optics are damaging for Starmer, who now appears to have lost the confidence of both the monarchy and Britain's most important ally, and the situation grows even more extraordinary. For the first time in decades, senior military officials are speaking publicly. 3 former chiefs of defense staff issued a joint statement at 11:30 a.m., expressing serious concerns over the diplomatic rupture. Admiral Sir Michael Boyce warned bluntly, "Our national security framework depends on American cooperation. Without it, we are dangerously exposed." His remarks sent shockwaves through the defense establishment. Markets reacted sharply as the diplomatic crisis intensified. The pound sterling fell 3.2% against the dollar in just 4 hours, while the FTSE 100 lost $67 billion in market value. Pension funds are bracing for significant losses. Your retirement savings are at risk due to this diplomatic misstep. The Labour Party is fracturing along multiple fault lines. 17 MPs representing defense constituencies issued a joint letter calling on Starmer to reverse course. International responses have been equally damaging. French President Macron distanced himself, describing the situation as regrettable but avoidable. Social media erupted, with Britain betrayed trending for 14 consecutive hours. By midnight, over 780,000 tweets demanded Starmer's resignation. The latest YouGov poll shows Labour's approval rating has collapsed to just 29%, down from 43% last week. Protests have broken out in Portsmouth, Plymouth, and other military towns, with veterans in uniform gathering outside constituency offices in silent protest. The repercussions extend further. The relationship with the United States affects every aspect of daily life, from trade and security to the value of pensions tomorrow morning. Inside number 10 Downing Street, chaos has erupted. Ministers are shouting at one another behind closed doors, and cabinet members are openly plotting against Starmer. 4 have already cleared their offices. Defense Secretary John Healey reportedly threatened to resign unless Starmer issued a formal apology to Trump within 24 hours. Angela Rayner was overheard saying, "He's completely lost it. We can't survive this." WhatsApp groups with names such as Damage Control and Aftercare are coordinating potential leadership challenges. The question is no longer if Starmer will be forced out, but whether it happens before the weekend. Starmer appeared physically unwell during his last public appearance. Sources report his hands were visibly shaking as he clutched a glass of water, and at one point he had to be steadied by an aide when his knees seemed to buckle. Medical experts who reviewed the footage suggested he was experiencing extreme stress and possible exhaustion. But there is a more alarming layer that could precipitate a complete government collapse. Leaked documents indicate Starmer's team was warned about Trump's concerns 3 weeks ago, yet deliberately ignored them. If these documents are genuine, and if they corroborate what our sources claim, then Starmer knowingly undermined relations with the United States for political advantage with Brussels. Consider the implications. The Prime Minister appears to have deliberately jeopardized Britain's most crucial alliance to appease his European allies. The optics would be profoundly damaging, particularly with defense contracts worth $8.7 billion now at risk. And it worsens further. The leaked documents detail specific meetings in which Starmer's advisors reportedly mocked Trump's concerns. One senior advisor allegedly said, "Let the Americans bluster. Brussels is where our future lies." That statement alone could irreparably harm what remains of Anglo-American cooperation. Intelligence agencies are already limiting the flow of information. Meanwhile, Rishi Sunak is strategically positioning the Conservatives as the party of transatlantic partnership. While Starmer flounders amid diplomatic chaos, Sunak projects a measured and statesmanlike image. Some relationships are too important to sacrifice on the altar of European vanity projects, Sunak declared to thunderous applause at yesterday's press conference. The polls reflect the shift. Conservatives have surged 7 points in just 48 hours. For the first time since the general election, the Tories are within striking distance of returning to power. They are not merely recovering, they are reasserting themselves as defenders of Britain's global standing. The next 72 hours are crucial for the nation's future. Military cooperation agreements worth billions are at stake. Intelligence sharing that protects our streets from terrorist threats could be jeopardized. Trade deals affecting thousands of jobs are under threat. The question is no longer whether Starmer can repair relations with Trump. It is whether the Labour government will survive until Monday morning. Britain is witnessing its international reputation erode in real time. This crisis is likely to be studied for decades as the moment when a prime minister sacrificed 80 years of Anglo-American partnership for European ambitions. At the center of the storm stands Starmer, who appears increasingly isolated, desperate, and completely out of his depth. Not since the Suez crisis has Britain's global standing been so severely undermined in such a short period, so the crucial question remains. Has Starmer destroyed our special relationship with the United States? Has he committed the most catastrophic diplomatic misstep of the 21st century, or has he merely exposed how reliant Britain truly is on American goodwill? What do you think? Has Starmer jeopardized his premiership by antagonizing Donald Trump, or is there still a chance to repair the relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. If this story has shocked you as much as it has us, pass it on to anyone who needs to see what is really happening in Westminster right now. The mainstream media may not tell the full story of this diplomatic disaster, but we will. Tomorrow, we will reveal the secret defense documents Starmer does not want the public to see, and it is even more alarming than you can imagine.